So we're just going to go over the evens on these ones. So let's expand the screen. So we're going to factor by grouping. What we're going to do is we're going to take a look. We're going to say, okay, we could factor out a 2 out of these and also an x squared. That's going to leave me 3x plus 4. From here, I'm going to factor a negative 1 out, and that's going to leave me 3x plus 4. And then I'm going to get 2x squared minus 1 and 3x plus 4 for my answer. Number 4, we're going to look here, and we're going to say, okay, we can factor out a 4x squared from both of those. That's going to leave me 2x plus 7, and then I'm going to factor out a 3 on each of these, and that's going to leave me 2x plus 7. So we're going to get 2x plus 7 and 4x squared plus 3. On this one, these are both perfect cubes, so I'm going to break this one down to 2x raised to the third, and then this one's going to break down to 3y raised to the third, and then it's the subtraction one, so we're going to go 2x minus 3y, square that, so that's going to give me 4x squared. Multiply those, 6xy plus 9y squared. There's your answer. Let's take a look at number 10. So I'm going to factor out a negative x. That's going to leave me x plus x minus 9. I'm going to factor out a negative 8. That's going to leave me an x minus 9. So then I'm going to get negative, and I'm going to change both of these signs, x plus 8 and x minus 9. A little trickier one to figure out. Number 12, we're going to look at these first ones, and we're going to say, okay, I can factor an x to the third out, and that's going to leave me 2x minus 5. Positive, factor an 8 out. 2x minus 5, so the 2x minus 5's match up. Then I have x to the third plus 8. This is a sum of two cubes. So I'm going to get x plus 2, and then x squared plus 2x plus 4, using our equations, because 2 times 2 times 2 is 8, and x times x times x. All right, now number 14, I can factor out a 2x squared. That's going to leave me 6x plus 7. And I can factor out from here, I can factor out a 3, which is going to leave me 2x or 6x plus 7. So my answer is 6x plus 7 and 2x squared plus 3. And that's all done. That should take care of the homework. So let's go move on to Poly 3. So I'm pretty sure you know how to FOIL all those. We're not going to worry about that, but we're going to come down and take a look at these bottom ones. All right, so these are going to factor the same way as if they were x squared. It's just I'm going to change each term to x squared and x squared. What two numbers multiply to give me 8, add to give me 6, and that'd be 4 and 2. And it's now factored. Notice they're both x squared. On this one, I'm going to do x to the third x to the third. What two numbers multiply to give me negative 14 add to give me positive 5, so that's going to be a plus 7 and a minus 2. Neither of those are sum or difference of two cubes. Alright, this one we're going to go with a squared and a squared. What two numbers multiply to give you negative 48 add to give you positive 2, and that's going to be a positive 8 and a negative 6. Neither of those are difference of two squares, so we can't factor, that's just done. For number 4, I'm going to factor it like normal. If I multiply those together, I get negative 28. So that's going to give me 140. Need to figure out, and one's going to be positive, one's going to be negative, what adds up to 31. So 1 and 140, 2 and 70. 4 and 35, and 4 and 35 are going to work because they're going to add up to the negative 31. So I'm going to go 5x to the 4th minus 35x plus 4x minus 28. Now I'm going to factor these by group, and I can factor a 5x. Those both should have been x squared, sorry about that. I can factor a 5x squared out of both, so that's going to leave me x squared minus 7. And then here I can factor a 4 out, x squared minus 7, and so my answer is going to be 5x squared plus 4 and x squared minus 7, and neither of those will factor any further. Number 5 is the difference of two squares. Okay, so I'm just going to do 5x to the third plus 7 and 5x to the third minus 7. That problem's done. This one looks like I can factor an h out, so I'm going to take 2h to the 4th plus 7h to the 2nd plus 3. And I believe this is going to factor down to 2h squared plus 3 and 2h squared plus 1. Let's see, is that a 6? Yep. Let's see, did I do my math right? Maybe I'll have to go back to, maybe I should go back to my class and retake my class. So the h is going to be part of the answer. So let's not worry about that. It's just, I'm going to bring it straight down. Multiply those together, so I'm going to get positive 6. So I'm going to have 2h to the 4th plus 6h to the 2nd plus 1h to the 2nd plus 3. Factor a 2h squared out of both of those. That's going to leave me h squared plus 3. Factor a 1 out, h squared plus 3. So h squared plus 3 goes here, and 2h squared plus 1 goes here. For problem number 7, it looks like I can factor a negative 3x out of everything. That's going to give me h to the 6th plus 10h to the 3rd minus 25. And let's see, what that will factor. So I'm going to get negative 3x, and I'm going to have x to the 3rd and x to the 3rd. What two numbers multiply to give you negative 25, add to give you positive 10. Let's see. Oh, I thought it would work. I think we're factored. That won't factor. That's as far as you can go. Number 8, we're going to factor out a 2x. That's going to leave me 6x to the 4th plus 17x squared plus 7. And then maybe we can factor this down. So 2x is gonna be part of our answer. I'm just gonna bring this straight down. If I multiply the first and the last, I get 42. Factors of 42 are 1 and 42, 2 and 21. We're trying to get to 17, 3 and 1, 3 and 14. That's gonna work. So we're gonna go 6x to the fourth plus 3x squared plus 14x squared plus 7. Factor by grouping. So I'm gonna have 3x squared that comes out, and that's 2x squared plus 1 plus factor 7 out of these, 2x squared plus 1. Don't forget we had a common denominator, or like term that we factored out. And that's all done. Oops. Here, and that takes us care of that. So this is the homework problems. I'm just gonna go through the evens on this. First one's gonna factor to x to the third and x to the third. What two numbers multiplied give me -10, add to give me 3. So that's gonna be plus 7 and minus, I take that back, it's gonna be plus 5 and minus 2. And that's as far as you can factor on that one. Won't go any further. This one is x to the fourth, so there's a perfect square trinomial. So I have x to the fourth and x to the fourth. What two numbers multiply to give me 49, add to give me 14, 7 and 7. And that's as far as we can go with that problem. Number 6, it's not going to factor as nicely, so I'm going to multiply, nothing will factor out, so I'm going to multiply 7 times 48 to get 336. And 336 is going to multiply, is the same thing as 6 times 56. I could have went through all the other factors. So this one has to be negative, this one has to be positive, so I'm going to get 7x to the fourth plus 6x squared minus 56x squared plus 48. I can factor an x squared out of this. That's going to leave me 7x squared plus 6. I can factor a -8 out of both of those. That's going to give me 7x squared plus 6. So I'm going to wind up with x squared minus 8 and 7x squared plus 6. Okay, number 8 doesn't look like anything's going to factor out as a greatest common factor other than an x. So I'm going to bring the x down there, and that's going to be 3x to the fourth plus 26x squared minus 40. Now we're going to factor this, so I'm going to multiply those together, so I get -120. And I believe that's going to be, I get 1 and 120, 2 and 60, 3 and 40, 4 and 30. I think 4 and 30 is going to work to add to the 26. So I'm going to get 3x to the fourth plus 30x squared plus 4x squared minus 40. And then I can factor out a 3x squared for both of those, and that's going to leave me x squared plus 10. And on those, I'm going to factor out a positive 4. Where did I make a mistake? Oh, that should have been a minus right there. And that should be a minus right there. And then I'll get x squared plus 10. So then my answer is 3x squared minus 4. x squared plus 10. And that's all done. Number 10 is the difference of two squares, because 64x to the 6th is the perfect square, so that's going to break down to 8x to the 3rd plus 11, and 8x to the 3rd minus 11. That's as far as you can go. Those are not sum or difference of two cubes. For number 12, this is going to break down to x squared and x squared. What two factors of 64 would add to give me negative 20? So I get 1 and 64, 2 and 32, 4 and 16. Cool, those are both be negative. Minus 4, minus 16. These are both difference of two squares. So the first one factors down to x plus 2, x minus 2. Second one breaks down to x plus 4, x minus 4. So that has a big old thing of factoring. That was a mega factor. And we got done there. So let's try and squeeze this review. Okay, you will have a test. Sorry, people are coming in. I was here early. All right, so match the appropriate polynomials. This will be for your test. So if I have x to the first power, that's linear, so that has to be an a. So I'll cross that off. 2x to the fourth, that is called a quartic. So that's b. Quartic is to the fourth power. To the third is called cubic. To the second is called quadratic. And if you just have a number, it's called a constant. So that's how you'd go through those problems. All right, we want to match these to standard form. So a couple things to look at. The only one that's, let's see, I'd say this one would have to be C, because that's cubed out. This one has to be A, because if I want x squared times x, I'm going to get x to the third, so that's just going to come out to 4 terms. And then x minus 6, x plus 6, that's the difference of two squares, so that's D. And then x minus 6 quantity squared, that's going to be E if I FOIL it out. And then this one has to be B, because it's the last one we got left behind. Alright, we want to factor completely on these, so it looks like I can factor out a 3x to the third. That's going to leave me 4x plus 1. And that's done. We won't go any further. That's our answer. Next one, if we multiply, let's see, can I factor everything by 3? I can. 3 comes out, and I'm left with r squared minus 3r minus 54 divided by 3 is 18. Okay, so what two numbers multiply together to give me negative 18, add together to give me negative 3, so that's going to be r minus 6 and r plus 3. That's done. Number 5, nothing to factor out. I'm going to multiply the first times the last, so I get negative 30. So I'm going to say that 1 and 30, 2 and 15, I think 2 and 15 are going to work. So I'm going to go 6x squared minus 15x plus 2x minus 5. I can factor a 3x out of both of those, and that's going to leave me 2x minus 5. Factor a 1 out of both of those. So that's going to give me 2x minus 5 and 3x plus 1. So that's just a traditional factoring one. 6 is the sum of two cubes. So I'm going to break 27x to the third down to 3x raised to the third. 343 is going to break down to 7 to the third. Alright, so we're going to go 3x plus 7, square 3x, so I'm going to get 9x squared, multiply those together, plus, that should be a minus right there, minus 21x plus 49. That's done. This is the difference of two squares, just becomes 5x plus 3 and 5x minus 3. On this particular one, I can factor a 3 out of both, and that's going to leave me x to the third minus 27y to the third. So 3 is going to be part of the answer. So this is going to be x to the third minus 3y to the third. And so that's the difference of two cubes. So that's going to be x minus 3y, then square x, multiply x and 3y together, so plus 3xy, and then square 3y, so I get 9y squared. Number 9, we have 4 terms, so we're going to factor by grouping. So I can factor out a 4x squared. That's going to leave me x minus 5. I can factor out negative 3, and that leaves me x minus 5, and this will not factor any further. That's done. This one, with two numbers multiplied to give me 24, add to give me 10, so that's going to be x to the third plus 4, and x to the third plus 6, and that will not factor any further. This is the difference of two squares, so that's going to give me 5x to the third plus 6y to the fourth, and 5x to the third minus 6y to the fourth. So as you can see, these are done the same way as normal algebra, or algebra 1, I guess. Just you have higher exponents. All right, number 12. Number 12, it looks like I can factor by grouping, so I can factor an x to the third out of both of those. Factor an 8 out of both of those. So, and then I'm going to get x to the third plus 8 and 2x minus 1. This is the sum of two cubes, so it's going to be x plus 2, and x squared minus 2x plus 4. And then don't forget this last one, 2x minus 1. Kind of snuck it in on us. This one, factor by grouping, so that's going to give me x squared, that's 3x minus 7, and factor negative 1 out. So 3x minus 7, x squared minus 1, it's going to be x plus 1 and x minus 1. This one's going to give me x squared minus 9 and x squared minus 1, which breaks down to x plus 3, x minus 3, x plus 1, x minus 1. Is that it? Alright, so we'll get into these Poly notes next time. Have a great day. Take care of one another.